Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Charlottesville on this warm, rainy Advent Sunday. We need the rain, so it is a blessing. My name is Peggy Ruth. I have the honor of serving as your celebration assistant this morning, and I'm here with the wise and wonderful Reverend Don Lansky, our senior minister. And of course, Blair Jones, our multi-talented music director, and her team of musicians and singers and they do such a great job of getting us started every morning. So on a day like this, I think we need to let our light shine. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we have a small but mighty crowd this morning in this intense rain, so everybody sing out. Sing like nobody's listening.
I just wanted to say that may the light that you are shine so bright today and forevermore.
One, two, three.
Gonna be the first on the dance floor, the first to raise my hand, the first to say my opinion, the first to take a stand. Won't play it safe and wait for a sign. I'm gonna throw myself out there and let my light shine. Let it shine, let it shine. I'll let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. I'll be on Oprah and Conan, 60 Minutes and A View. They'll all be talking about me and all the things I do. I'll be the one who sets the bar, the one who's in the know. They will come to me to see where fashion trends will go. 'Cause I shine, yes I shine. I let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. For too many years I hid my light, fearing I was too much and who I was just wasn't right. Then I heard this voice from within and up above saying, you're here to be a shining light and give and receive love. Nothing's in my way, carpe diem is my mantra. Practice kindness every day. I'll take time to connect, I take time to have fun. I wanna know I've used up every drop before my life is done. So I shine, yes I shine. I let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. For too many years I hid my light, fearing I was too much and who I was just wasn't right. Then I heard this voice from within and up above saying, you're here to be a shining light and give and receive love. I am a person of power, a person of grace. The life that I've lived is in every wrinkle on my face. And I love myself so I can love you too. And I know when we're connected, there ain't nothing we can't do. So let's shine, let's all shine. Let's let our big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. See it shine, yes it shine. Let the big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. We shine, oh I shine. I let my big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine. Shine, let's all shine. Let's let our big, bright, brilliant beam of radiant light shine.
Well, that is one tough act to follow for a prayer. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to everybody online. Welcome to everybody who's stayed home out of the rain. Unity is a place that welcomes people of all faiths, all religions, all cultures, all gender identity, all sexual orientations. Everybody's welcome here. And today we're going to light this. This is the second day of Advent. And today's theme for Advent across the Christian world is peace. We need peace right now, you think? I came across a little prayer, an affirmative prayer. It says, I affirm that the love of God nestled in the hearts of us all is finding its way into the decisions, motives, and actions of those in command and all citizens. May those in the throes of conflict be rescued, healed, fed, and attended to in body and spirit. May solutions show themselves with such clarity and truth and fairness that peace becomes the order of all of our lives all around the world. And so today we first light the Christ candle. And last week we lit a candle for faith and for hope. And today we light this candle for peace. May all beings be at peace. May all situations anywhere in the world that are in conflict find peaceful resolution. May each one of us have peace in our own hearts. Let peace begin with me. And we pray this in the name and after the nature of the indwelling Christ as we light this candle for peace. Amen.
And may we affirm this prayer by stating together our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. And if we have any youngsters here today, it's time for Kids Church. We get to sing our favorite song. Stand if you like.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Will you all have a good time at Kids Church? We'll see you later.
So we do have some opportunities for transformation. We have the service of remembrance this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. The service of remembrance is a time where we come together in community to support one another. So it's who should come to this? People who have lost someone that they love or that they can't be with this time of year because they're in some other part of the country or some other part of the world. People who just want to be here to support those who have lost someone. It's a lovely evening. Blair will be here with the La Da Das. We'll be singing as well. And it's a time of sharing stories and just remembering and honoring those that we can't be with and honoring our feelings at this time of year. The purpose of it has always been that if there's a feeling of bittersweetness or sadness around the holidays, that this is a service that is supportive enough, that gives you the juice to go on through the holidays. So we hope you'll come. It will not be online. It will only be here in person.
And we have the Kirtan chanting ongoing. Thursday, December 14th at 6 o'clock will be the next gathering from 6 to 7:30. And then on Saturday, December 30th, from 11 to 12:30. Everyone is welcome, and it's offered on a love offering basis, so please come.
And then the next Sunday after that, December 17th, Lama Tashi, who has spoken here before, a very renowned Buddhist teacher, Tibetan Buddhist teacher, and also the former chant master to the Dalai Lama. So he will be here with Western musicians as well. It's a concert with both East and West, and he speaks very, very good English, unlike me. He speaks good English. And there'll be transliteration words that people can sing along with, and it's a love offering. I think their suggested a love offering is $20, but nobody's turned away, and anybody can come. And then also on December 21st, years ago, Hina Ryder and I began an Interfaith Pray for Peace Circle, which we held in the meditation room up there for many, many years. And then with the pandemic and different things, it sort of disbanded. But this group will be coming together. This is an interfaith group, many different faith traditions around the Charlottesville community. The Sufi community is here, the Jewish community, other churches are here. And this is a gathering, actually a worldwide gathering this night to pray for peace. So it's interactive. You can bring a prayer or a song or something that you'd like to share. And we hope you'll be here that night.
We have,
go ahead.
We have the annual Christmas Eve candle lighting service on the 24th, Christmas Eve, of course. That's at 5:30. And that will be in addition to our regular Sunday morning service on the 24th. So we look forward to seeing you at both. And we have the ongoing healing half hour every Wednesday on Zoom, 6:30 to 7, wonderful things taking place there. So if you have a request that you'd like to send in, please do that. If you'd like to join us in person, everyone is welcome. It's on Zoom, and the link is on our website.
And weather is happening, whether we want it or not. So last week we handed out forms that you could sign. Just put your cell phone number so that we can send you text alert in the event that church has to be canceled. We'll never cancel church. If it's canceled here in person, we'll do it on Zoom. But there are some forms. If you didn't get to sign that last week, there are some forms at the back of the sanctuary, and you can just fill out that, and we'll send you text alerts. We're going to keep it just for those purposes. We're not going to be sending you solicitations for anything else. John, do you have something to say?
Good morning. In the narthex, Rena and I have brought a gift for all of you. They are blessing stones. There's a bowl out there that you may find the one that fits your needs, the one that speaks to you. It's our gift from us to you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. And Happy Kwanzaa. Enjoy. Thank you.
John. That's on the table out there in the lobby. And finally, next week we'll have our hug meeting, Help Unity Grow. So that'll be right after church. There'll be fellowship, and then we'll have our hug meeting right after that.
And if you'll join me in our mission statement. Together, Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world.
shine the light of beauty. With conviction so sound, I know that now is the time to pray. Now is the time to pray. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of healing. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of healing. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. That song was from my brother, John Eric Lindbergh, who passed away last weekend. Thank you. Thank you.
So this guy is seeking enlightenment, and he goes to a monastery, and he goes up to the head monk, and he says, what do I have to do? The monk says, well, you have to take a vow of silence, and you can only say 2 words every 3 years. So 3 years passes. The monk goes up to the guy and says, what are your 2 words? And the guy says, still hungry. So the monk gives him some extra food. And then another 3 year passes. The monk goes up to the guy and says, what are your 2 words? He says, still cold. And the monk gives him an extra robe. And then 3 years later, the monk comes up to the man and says, what are your 2 words? And the man says, I quit. And the monk says, I'm not surprised. All you ever do is complain. That's one of my favorite jokes. You know, in the dark nights at this time of year, especially on moonless nights, it evokes either, kind of a primitive and primordial. Who can't hear? You can't hear? Really? And you can't hear in the back? I'm in trouble. My wife is telling me I'm in trouble. This is bad news. Can you make it louder? Okay, is that better? All right. So as I was saying, and these dark nights evoke a sort of a primordial feeling that I think our ancestors must have felt as well. And so, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, so at this time of year, this is really in stark juxtaposition to what we humans have created. We've created a season of light. These are purposeful and intentional attempts by the ancestors and by ourselves, actually, as well, to overcome the darkness, right? And so then we move towards this winter solstice, which is the tipping point. The solstice is the longest day of the year, and then after that, there's the return of the light. So in our neighborhood, Christmas lights were up before Thanksgiving. There was one house that had Christmas lights up before Halloween, right? They did not want it to be dark. So we lit the Advent candle this morning. This is part of the traditional celebration or preparation for the birth of Jesus Christ and the bringer of peace and the bringer of light into the world. Tonight is the 4th night of Hanukkah, which is the festival of lights. And Friday was Bodhi Day. That's the day that is celebrated around the world by Buddhists to commemorate Siddhartha Gautama's awakening, his enlightenment. on Bodhi Day. On December 21st, we have the actual winter solstice, and we're actually doing that this year at Unity. We're hosting this with this Interfaith Pray for Peace gathering, which I mentioned earlier, and that'll be at 7 o'clock here, and to pray for peace for the world. And of course, Christmas Eve, we have our annual Christmas candle lighting service. That's where we get to light our candles, our collective light together to bring in the birth of Jesus on Christmas Day. So I was thinking about all this light and all this symbolism of light. What does it mean? And so I wanted to talk today about luminous living. What does it mean to be living luminously? And so I want to look at some definitions first. The word luminous means emitting or reflecting light, startlingly bright, inspiring, radiant, resplendent, stunning, and splendid. And in nature, there are many examples of luminescence or bioluminescence. A lot of these are found in the world's oceans, and especially at great depths, right? I love this guy. But it's also found at the surface of the ocean as well. There are bioluminescent plankton as well. When I was a kid, we'd go out on hot summer nights and we'd collect lightning bugs, fireflies. We still see them around our neighborhood today, but here, but not nearly as many as when we were kids. When we were kids, and people probably remember this too, they actually could light up the field. There were just so many of them. And they were interesting to catch because you would kind of catch them and then they'd squiggle around and then they would light up in your hand. It was kind of goofy. Of the nearly 100,000 species of mushrooms, of fungus, 80 of them are known to be bioluminescent. So these mushrooms emit either a blue or a green kind of inner light from within, and they attract ants and wasps and beetles and flies, which in turn disperse the mushroom spores throughout the forest. And this next thing is interesting and maybe even a little scary. That scientists at MIT in the field of nanobiotics are injecting luminescent bacteria into trees and the leaves of trees and plants. These are the same bacteria that light up the fireflies. And the idea would be that one day they would eliminate the need for street lighting, right? And also the sources of fossil fuel that would have to propel the street lighting. That's kind of an interesting idea. Tibetan Buddhists have names for the state of consciousness attained by the enlightened ones called ground luminosity or clear light, where consciousness itself dissolves into a spaciousness of consciousness or unified field or of consciousness or pure consciousness. And another name for it is luminous emptiness. Luminous emptiness is without circumference and without center, just everywhere. And I imagine that that's kind of what Jesus must have experienced and also what Buddha must have experienced. In the Gospels, Jesus had his own luminosity experience, which is called the Transfiguration. You remember the story of the Transfiguration? It's described in 3 of the Gospels, in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And I want to show you a version from the Gospel of Luke. So we can have the stage lights. Oh, I meant to say this as well, that not only is the luminosity found in here, but also many of the world's traditions and their artists depict their saints and sages and gods and goddesses and angels with light. This is Mary Magdalene down here.
Then Jesus took John and James and Peter with him and went up a hill to pray. And while he was praying, the aspect of his face changed its appearance, and his clothes became dazzling white. Suddenly 2 men were talking with him. They were Moses and Elijah who appeared in heavenly glory.
You will fulfill God's purpose.
You will die in Jerusalem.
James, John.
As they were leaving, Peter said to Jesus,
Master, how good it is that we are here. We will make 3 tents. One for you,
As Peter spoke,
One
a
for
cloud
Moses.
came and overshadowed them,
and one for Elijah.
and the disciples were afraid. And a voice came from the cloud saying, "This is my son, the chosen one. Listen to him."
Now, to the cynic, one might say that the gospel writers were trying to link Jesus with 2 of the greatest Hebrew figures, Moses and Elijah, because they were trying to appeal to a Jewish audience to convert them to this new religion, this new way of life, and to show also the supremacy of Jesus as the chosen one, or as God's chosen one. But what if Jesus went to the top of this mountain and he just had an ecstatic experience, right? And it was of such profound beauty and such profound exaltation that the disciples were watching him as well, and so they also had an ecstatic experience. And then this was written about later on, embellished. The Gospels weren't written down in paper or whatever the form was there till years after Jesus' death and resurrection. So Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, said that most traditional Christians accept the Transfiguration as a historical event. But he said that without the metaphysical or allegorical interpretation of it, that the true meaning is lost. And so one possible metaphysical interpretation is that Jesus went up to the top of the mount. The mount means consciousness. He went to an elevated state of consciousness, or an exalted state of consciousness, and he was accompanied by Peter, who represents faith, and James, who represents judgment, and John, who represents love. That without faith and judgment and love, spiritual transformation can't occur. You need those qualities, you need those things. And as in other parts of the Gospels, the disciples fell asleep. They just simply couldn't maintain the level of consciousness that Jesus was operating at. But then they awoke, and they awoke to see Jesus speaking with Moses, who represents the law, and Elijah, who represents the fulfillment of the I am consciousness. And so this union of the law and the I am consciousness created such an ecstatic state in the consciousness of Jesus that he literally began to glow. He began to shine. This was his luminosity experience. He was luminous. And there's a kind of an interesting footnote to the passage that you saw in the film here, that Peter sees this happening. He goes up and he says, "Let me build a tent or dwelling for you and for Moses and for Elijah." And Jesus ignores him totally. He doesn't answer the question, doesn't say anything to him in response, which I take to mean that the spiritual experience was not meant to be held down. It was not meant to be bound by material structures or to the material world. It was an event in consciousness. It was a consciousness event meant for this kind of here and now moment. Fillmore wrote that in The Atom-Smashing Power, that the experience of transfiguration is what takes place in all of those who are growing in spiritual consciousness. That when a man or a woman is in spiritual consciousness, his or her soul shines with an energy that electrifies their outer clothing. And so, said Fillmore, it is the power of thought that transfigures consciousness. It's the power of thought that transfigures countenance as well. Which means that luminosity is not something really out of reach, or it's not impossible for anyone to experience. Right? Jesus said, "All the things I do, you can do and more." In fact, at a very practical and very basic level, human beings are by nature luminous beings. And Jesus languages this as, you are the light of the world. Modern science calls this energy biophoton energy. And biophotons are light particles that were discovered in 1922. They're generated within the body and are constantly radiating from the body's surface. The thing is about them that biophotons are barely measurable, that the light they emit is comparable to a candle flame from 12 miles away. So it's a very, very kind of faint light. But in 1974, a German scientist named Fritz Albert Popp devised an amplifier to study cells' biophotonic emissions. And he was able to demonstrate that cells emit either a coherent, healthy light or a chaotic light that indicates disease. That's kind of fascinating. This is Popp. He says, we know today that man essentially is a being of light, and the modern science of photobiology is presently proving this. In terms of healing, the implications are immense. We now know, for example, that quanta of light can initiate or arrest cascade-like cellular damage, cascade-like reactions in the cells, and that genetic cellular damage can be virtually repaired within hours by faint beams of light. We are still on the threshold of fully understanding the complex relationship between light and life, but we can now say emphatically that the function of our entire metabolism is dependent on light. So, whether we look objectively outside into our environment or subjectively inside ourselves, we find that light is at the basis of existence. We know this. This is the very first thing that God created at the very beginning of creation, right? God said, light be, or let there be light. And it's all around us in nature, in the animal and the mineral and the plant and the human kingdoms. It can also be found as emanations of light in the human energy field known as auras, right? So, and the auras are visible to those that have cultivated that particular sensory apparatus to perceive them, but they can also be seen through modern instruments such as Kirlian photography and aura cameras. So I want to show you a clip. This is the movement of light energy during a Reiki session. So if you could...
Sheila's aura is basically green. The orange-red color on her right side belongs to Barbara, who is standing there just out of camera range. Barbara is already hooked up to the aura computer by sensors velcroed to 3 fingers on her right hand. You will understand the orange-red is of Barbara's when you see her step into Sheila's auric field. As Barbara steps into Sheila's auric field, Barbara's own aura is then not seen. When channeling Reiki healing energy for someone, our own personalities, feelings, etc. step out of the way, so to speak. It is the Reiki healing energy that we channel that actually becomes us. Any manipulation of energy would show Barbara's own aura again. The job of a Reiki practitioner is to stay out of the way and just let the Reiki healing energy do the work. There is no manipulation and no thought process to control it. Notice as Barbara steps behind Sheila, the light begins to shine radiantly. Sheila is absorbing the Reiki healing energy. As Barbara's hands move over Sheila's head, the hands are lighting up. As Sheila takes the Reiki balanced healing energy, the aura seems to calm down to green and some blue-purple. In a few moments, you will see Barbara at the left side of Sheila. The radiant light is very bright now, and you are able to see a stream of light entering Barbara's crown, then a kind of disappearing of Barbara. As she becomes the Reiki energy, you are seeing just a light body. After the left hand is placed over the forehead, third eye, from time to time you will see a flash of light on the back of Barbara's hand as the Reiki is being absorbed. Calming down to the colors of green and purple, the spiritual healing and the balance have been taken. Many thanks to Sheila for sitting in at this Reiki session, and to Guy Coggins who did the filming. Thank you so much.
So we human beings are luminous beings by nature, by nature. But I want to share with you a slightly different idea about luminosity and about being a luminous being. What if luminosity is not just about radiating light, or radiating light in the form of an aura or an energy field? What if it's not just about light? What if luminosity is a way of life that makes life worth living? A way of making a life that makes a difference? What if that's another meaning of luminosity, right? Maria Namath, who's an author and a life coach and a mentor for Patricia and I, has defined luminosity this way. She says that our life is luminous when we're fully engaged in the physical world with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. Let me say that again. Our life is luminous when we're fully engaged in the physical world with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So clarity is seeing what's truly important and meaningful, making meaningful goals. Focus is directing our energy and attention to accomplishing what's in our hearts, the deepest heart's desire. And ease is venturing further than we normally would towards our goals with elegance, without stress. And grace is being constantly grateful using spiritual principle. And so luminosity is a state of being. It's a quality of being. More enduring than happiness, actually, because happiness lives in the psychological realm of thoughts and feelings. So happiness can change at any moment. You know, one moment you can be happy, the next moment you lose it. So if I'm downstairs at fellowship and I'm really enjoying just kind of observing and enjoying and seeing people interact and seeing people making connections and seeing people laughing and having fun and knowing also that I had some small part to play in that, you know, that I had some small part in creating a space that would allow this kind of interaction to happen. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm feeling happy and I'm feeling at peace, and then someone comes and spills a drink on me, right? My happiness could vanish in a moment, just at least for that moment, right? But luminosity is a state of being, something deep that's centered within us. So I can still be in a space of consciousness. I can still be in a place of being from which I'm observing and in which I am not touched, even though I'm experiencing this, whatever, Pepsi Cola on my shirt, Happiness changes. It's flighty. But luminosity is a state of being. It's a light and it's a radiance that comes deep within us that allows us to see clearly and to appreciate the possibilities that are before us. That would be a definition of luminosity. And luminous moments involve focused attention oftentimes, not always, I think, but oftentimes focused attention. Moments when you've either taken an action on something that is important to you, something that really gives you juice, something that fills your life, that makes your heart sing. That moment can be a luminous moment. Or it can be a moment where you've generated something important from something that is deep within yourself, deep within you. These are the moments in our lives that make our hearts sing and allow us to experience life with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. Doug Hammarskjöld was the second Secretary General of the United Nations. He said, "We die on the day our lives cease to be illumined by the steady radiance renewed daily of a wonder, the source of which is beyond reason." Right? So he's saying, I think, that luminosity is not something that, maybe it can exist as an all-time reality, maybe it doesn't, it probably does in the enlightened ones, but that we actually have a choice to renew it daily, right? A conscious choice to renew it daily, to allow ourselves to be illumined by that radiance and that wonder. And hopefully we've all had luminous moments, but maybe we find that we're not living luminously all the time. We're not always centered in a source that is beyond reason, right? Whatever you consider to be your construct of God or higher power. And so what happens at those times when we're not being luminous? What happens? Well, there were two cars waiting at a busy stoplight. It was a red light. They were both sitting there. One car was in front of the other. The light turned green for the car in front, and the woman didn't budge. She was texting. Her head was down, and the car didn't move. So the guy behind her honked his horn. He yelled. He started beating his dashboard. But to no avail, the woman had her head down. She didn't see the light. And the light, suddenly she looked up, and the light was yellow. So she accelerated and went through the light, and the light turned red. The guy was still stopped at the red stoplight. So he went ballistic, right? He was screaming at the top of his lungs. He was so upset. He was pounding his dashboard and shouting profanities. And suddenly he felt a tap on his window. It was a police officer who arrested him and took him to jail. And after a couple of hours, he got let out of jail, and he went to meet the arresting officer. And the officer said, "I'm really sorry for this mistake, but you see, I pulled up behind you, and I saw that you were blowing your horn and shouting profanities and honking, and I couldn't help but notice the 'What Would Jesus Do' bumper sticker on your car and 'Follow Me to Sunday School' bumper sticker. So naturally, I thought you stole the car." So, we have to face it. We're not always luminous beings, right? We don't always act like luminous beings. And at those times, we might want to reflect on who and how we are in relationship to ourselves, in relationship to others, and in relationship to the God of our understanding. How are we handling conflict? How are we handling stress? How are we handling disappointment? How are we handling difficult situations? Are we being kind? Are we being the light of the world in that moment? And some of us may have had a trial run at this at our Thanksgiving gatherings with our families. And now Christmas, of course, is coming up. More gatherings, more parties, more shopping and hectic schedules and all of that. Can we get it all done? How in the world will we all pay for it? These are questions that kind of come up. And here's what we know about the basic unity principle that we call the law of mind action, or the law of attraction, that the key to luminosity is to focus on what you love. Focus on what's interesting to you and what makes your heart sing. That's the key to luminous living. Because what you focus on grows stronger in your life. What you focus on creates your experience of reality. And the good news is that we always have within us exactly what we need to move towards a luminous life. All of us have that. And that is a good heart, the capacity to dream, and the desire to make a difference. We all have that, each one of us. And so if you feel you're not being luminous, stop and pause and take a breath, say a prayer, look around, be grateful for the things and blessings that are in your life. And remember the words of Jesus, who said, "You are the light of the world, let your light shine." Right? We have to remember that. That's a conscious choice, a conscious moment. This is Chief Crazy Horse. He was the Oglala Sioux who defended his people with Sitting Bull in the 1800s. And he's attributed with this quote, "I salute the light within your eyes, where the whole universe dwells. I salute the light within your eyes, where the whole universe dwells. For when you are at that center within you, and I am at that place within me, we shall be as one." So I think if we heed the advice of Chief Crazy Horse, we'll be much closer to luminous living and to sharing our light with the world. So let's prepare for meditation.
Lead me to the light. Lead me to the light. Help me to make it through. Lead me into the light. Make my eyes to see all that I could be. Help me to see it through. Lead me into the light. Turn my night to day. Take the hurt away. Help me to be with you. Lead me into the light.
So let's continue in this time of meditation. What a gift it is to be able to take this time together in community, to come apart from our worldly activities and all of the things that we have to do, all the gotta-gottas. And to remember the very first words that we have heard in our traditions: let there be light. Let light be. Could we imagine that each one of us has the self-effulgent radiance of a mushroom? That within us there is this ability to experience an inner light, an inner glow of expanded consciousness, expanded awareness. That when we view the world from a larger perspective, from a greater awareness, not only are we light, but we feel lighter. And so can we remember at this time of year to take time to remember you are the light of the world. Let your light so shine. In moments of darkness, in moments of fear, in moments of depression, in moments of happiness even. That the light of God is available to each and every one of us. That in any and every situation it is possible to shine the light of consciousness on whatever that situation is. So I invite us now to take time in the silence Find some area that you're grateful for. Find some area that you're having a challenge with. And know that you are the light. You are the light. So what will it take for each one of us to have a luminous day today in the midst of this rain and thunder and grayness? Do we have the faith of Peter and the judgment of James, the love of John? We certainly have those three qualities of having a good heart, having the capacity to dream, and having the desire to make a difference. And so with that intention, and with the intention to live a life of clarity and focus and ease and grace, we move forward from this time of meditation and into our day and into our week, into our holiday season, knowing that we are the light of the world. And what a shame if we don't let our light shine. So let's take a moment and just open the eyes when it feels comfortable.
Don, thank you. How timely a message, and on a day like this. Thank you for the invitation to go out and be the light today, throughout Christmas, throughout all this hectic time. We can make a difference in our lives and everyone else. Well, this is the time in our service when we have the opportunity to give back to Unity of Charlottesville with our tithes and our gifts. And while you're preparing for that, I want to check, is there anyone that's here for the first time? Be brave and raise your hand. Okay, well, if there's anyone joining us online for the first time, please know that this is an invitation to visit us here in the sanctuary for a Sunday service. And I think there is someone maybe towards the back of the sanctuary that is here for the first time. We would love to say hello to you after the service. Greet Reverend Don. We're glad you're here today. So thank you for that. We have reached the end of our fall fundraiser. So I'll put my treasurer's hat on. Drum roll, please. You have generously raised $28,065. Wow. That is so amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's join together in our offertory statement. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
And just a reminder that there are some easy ways to give. You can just dial on your cell phone, or you can go to our website, unitycharlottesville.org, or you can mail a check, or you can give a check or money into our butterfly net that Tamsin has. So.
As we come around to take our places at the table, a moment to remember and reflect upon our wealth. Here's to loving friends and family, here's to being able to gather here together in good company and health. May we be released from all those feelings that would harm us. May we have the will to give them up and get them gone. For heavy are the satchels full of anger and false promise. May we have the strength to put them down. And may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And may we wish the best for everyone that we encounter. May we swallow pride and may we do away with fear. For it's only what we do not know that we have grown afraid of, and only what we do not choose to hear. And may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And as we bless our daily bread and drink our day's libation, may we be reminded of the lost and wayward soul, the hungry and the homeless that we have in every nation. May we fill each empty cup and bowl. May nothing ever come between or threaten to divide us. May we never take for granted all the gifts that we receive, being ever mindful of the unseen hands that guide us and the miracles that cause us to believe. And may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you every day.
Well, we don't see our youth and family people.
Well, let's give thanks for our tithes and our offerings first. Thank you all for the blessings that you pour out to Unity of Charlottesville. We are richly and greatly blessed, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. So why don't we bless our children and teens wherever they are. And also bless those that are not yet aware that Unity of Charlottesville exists. We want to keep envisioning together a thriving youth and family ministry. So together, children, uniteens, YOUers, teachers, and parents. You are loved, special, and important. So next week, Living in Joy, that we have, there we go.
We have pastoral care, so if you or anyone in your family or friend needs a little extra help, please feel free to reach out to the church office and let us know how we can be of service to you.
And a reminder, we don't have fellowship today, but Frank Shepard has his beautiful sculptures downstairs, so if you're interested in just checking them out, and if you're not going to beat them if they don't come, right? Yeah. so good.
And Christmas Eve singers rehearsal immediately after the service.
Okay. I want to thank everybody that's helped out today. Greg up in the sound booth and Luke and Peggy, thank you so much. And of course our fabulous music team, Blair, incredible Blair, and Jim and Blue and Stevie and and Janice and Kevin and Rhonda and John, thank you all. And our healing helpers will be back here in the corner. Buddy is here if you'd like individual prayers. He'll be right up front. You can come and pray with him. And thank our blessing team also, Barbara King and Tamsin, and who else was, and Buddy was there today too. So thank you all. Let's stand and do our prayer for protection. And together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and wherever God is, all is well. Good hearts, the capacity to dream, and the desire to make a difference. Have a great luminous day.